On January 9, 2004, Priscila took a ride to work with her mother. She got out of the car at the corner of President Vargas Avenue in the center of Rio de Janeiro and headed towards the building where she worked. Her mother watched her enter, and that was the last time Priscila was seen. Priscila Vieira Belfort was born on December 5, 1974, in the city of Rio de Janeiro. Her mother, Jovita Belfort, became pregnant at a very young age and had a pregnancy considered at risk by doctors. As a result, the doctors suggested that the pregnancy be terminated, but Jovita did not accept it. Jovita said she had had a dream about the baby, where she said everything was going to be okay, and that dream weighed heavily on her decision. Jovita kept the pregnancy, and after a few months she gave birth to a completely healthy girl who she named Priscila. Priscila had a peaceful and happy childhood with her younger brother, Vitor Belfort. The brothers were described as very active and had a childhood and adolescence linked to sport. Later, Vitor would become a world-renowned professional MMA fighter. As I already mentioned, Priscila's childhood was very peaceful. However, when she reached adolescence, she began to face some health problems and was diagnosed with serious depression. She began treatment and began using medication to stabilize her psychological condition. It is said that she struggled a lot with depression for a long time. As the years went by, she showed clear signs of improvement and went back to going out with friends and dedicating herself to her studies. Priscila was described by friends and family as a very kind, intelligent, and studious girl. She was also seen as extremely sensitive, so much so that she liked to dedicate her time to humanitarian causes, participating in various social projects. In 2004, Priscila had become a civil servant and worked at the Municipal Department of Sports and Leisure. The woman's mother says that, despite apparently being well, at times, Priscila still had small relapses of her depression, but as she was very disciplined in her treatment, until then she led a normal life. She worked, went to college, and was even dating. The week this case happened, Priscila appeared to be fine. The only thing that bothered her was that she was facing some problems in her relationship with her boyfriend, a man called Luis Claudio Correa Fortes. Luis was the son of an important politician at the time, and according to sources, he was pressuring Priscila for the two to make a commitment. Priscila, however, was not very sure about their relationship, as they fought a lot and Luis was a very jealous and possessive boy. As a way of putting pressure on his girlfriend, Luis would have scheduled a dinner at his house on Wednesday, 2 days before the incident, with the intention of introducing Priscila to his family. The young woman was reportedly very upset that he had made this decision without consulting her, and decided that she would not go to dinner. The next day, Luis went to Priscila's house and invited her to go to a private place to talk. When Priscila returned home, she was behaving strangely, more silent than usual. The young woman's mother realized that something was bothering her and went to talk to her. Priscila then vented and said that she wanted to end her relationship with Luis. The following morning, a Friday on January 9, 2004, Priscila Belfort woke up early and told her mother that she didn't really feel like going to work that day. She said she wasn't feeling well, that she was in pain, and had a lot of cramps. The worried mother gave her daughter a painkiller and insisted she go to work. Priscila worked as a secretary, and many of her colleagues were on vacation, so her presence at work was important. The young woman's mother told her that she would take her to work, and if she continued to feel unwell, she would pick her up, or if she thought it was better, she could take a taxi back home. Jovita gave Priscila $10 so she could take a taxi if she wanted, and then the two left the house. Throughout the journey, Priscila remained silent, and when questioned by her mother about her relationship, she didn't talk. When they arrived close to Priscila's place of work, the young woman got out of the vehicle at the corner of Avenida President Vargas and headed towards the building where she worked. Jovita watched her enter the building, and that was the last time she saw her daughter. Upon returning home, Jovita receives a strange phone call from Priscila's boyfriend. The man asked if Priscila was at home. The young woman's mother found this question strange, since Luis worked in the same building as Priscila, and if he wanted to talk to her, he could just go to her office. Jovita also noticed that there was a lot of noise in the background of the call, and when questioning Luis, he said that the noise was from the street, as he was calling from a payphone. Finding the whole situation strange, Jovita decides to call a sister who worked in a building close to where Priscila worked. The woman then asked the sister to go to Priscila to check if everything was okay. In her head, Jovita thought that there might have been an accident with Priscila, and Luis was afraid to tell her. However, as soon as she arrived at Priscila's workplace, the aunt found that nothing was wrong. Priscila was in her office working normally. The day continued normally, and Priscila maintained her usual routine until lunchtime when she went out into the street. She used to go out to lunch with her co-workers or her boyfriend, but that day, for some reason, she went alone, and he didn't come back. When it started to get dark, shortly after Priscila should have arrived home, her mother started to get worried. She started calling all her close friends and family, but no one knew about Priscila. Night fell and despair began to take over the family, and everyone decided to get together to organize a search for the young woman. Shortly afterwards, Vitor Belfort, together with his wife Joania Prado, arrived home with the rest of the family. Jovita went to the police station to file a missing persons report. But when she got there, she was treated with disdain and told by the police that the young woman was probably taking a walk, and that she should wait for her to return home. Unable to count on the police at that time, the family, together with some of Priscila's friends, organized a search on their own, and each went in a different direction. They searched bus stations, hospitals, and even morgues. They also searched the streets where Priscila used to pass, but no one knew where she was. A strange fact reported by the young woman's mother refers to the behavior of Luis, Priscila's boyfriend. When called to testify at the police station about the disappearance, he appeared accompanied by a criminal lawyer. So far it was just a case of a disappearance, so it seemed a little strange for him to appear with a lawyer since no one suspected him. As time passed, the case took on major proportions. There was a great mobilization for Priscila's disappearance to be widely publicized. As he is a public figure, Vitor used his visibility to attract attention to his sister's disappearance. The media published photos and information about Priscila in all media outlets. The police also began to investigate, and photos and billboards with Priscila's image were spread across the city. Due to the repercussion of the case, reports of alleged sightings of Priscila began to emerge. All of these reports were investigated, but nothing was found. There was a theory that Priscila could have been the victim of a kidnapping, as she was from a well-known family, but until then no contact requesting any ransom had been made. Until on Monday, January 11th, a ransom demand was made on Priscila's work phone, and 2 days later another call was received, this time from the family. As all phones were being monitored, the police discovered that the call came from inside the Bangu 1 penitentiary. As a result, the suspicious police officers asked for proof of Priscila's life and received no response. They then concluded that the calls were a prank call with the purpose of extorting the family. Time passed and no news regarding the case emerged, until in 2007, a woman named Elaine Pavida Silva sought out the Rio de Janeiro Public Prosecutor's Office and made a confession, causing a turnaround in Priscila Belfort's case. This same woman said she only went to the Public Prosecutor's Office because she was being threatened. In her statement, she said that she kidnapped and took Priscila's life on the orders of a Bangui 1 inmate, and that she had the help of at least 10 people. Elaine said that this prisoner called her and offered $304 for her to participate in the crime. Asked about the motivations for the crime, Elaine said that Priscila and her boyfriend had a debt of more than $1,800 in narcotics, and the plan was to kidnap her to pressure her boyfriend into paying this debt. The woman said she arranged a meeting with Priscila in the center of Rio de Janeiro to discuss the debt. Priscila accepted, and when she got into this woman's car, she was taken over by her and other criminals. According to Elaine, Priscila was taken to a house where she stayed for a month and a half. She was later transferred from captivity and remained there until May 2004, when her life was taken. In May, Elaine and the other criminals who participated in the crime received a call from the prisoner who was in Bangui 1. According to Elaine, the prisoner said that Priscila's boyfriend had not paid the debt and that they could do whatever they wanted with her. The gang then decided to take Priscila to a farm located in a neighborhood called Gold River. There, the gang took Priscila's life by shooting her 4 times, 1 in the head and 3 in the chest area. The police arrested all members of the gang mentioned by Elaine and immediately began searching where the woman stated that Priscila was buried. And it was during these searches that some bizarre things began to happen. In the place where the woman indicated where Priscila's remains would be, there was nothing. Then, through anonymous complaints, the police reached a garbage collector who was storing some bones in his tent. Upon discovering that there were human bones along with animal bones with him, the police began to interrogate him. He said that he sold a human skull to a motorcyclist and that it had a hole that looked like a bullet hole. Later, this motorcyclist was identified and located by the police, and in his statement he confirmed the version and said that he had bought the skull to use as an ornament on his motorcycle. When asked where the skull was, he said it fell apart because it had brought him bad luck. According to him, his wife asked for a separation because she didn't want that thing in the house, and then threw it in the trash. The police managed to recover the skull, and both it and the other human bones found with the collector were sent for DNA analysis, which later confirmed that they were not Priscila Belfort. As the investigations continued, the police confirmed that Elaine's statement was a complete lie by breaking her telephone confidentiality and that of the other suspects. The police chief concluded that Elaine not only did not speak to Priscila on the day of the crime, but also did not maintain any contact with those she herself identified as accomplices. In the end, she herself denied her testimony and was diagnosed with mental problems, and so everyone involved in her complaint was released. Because of this, the police practically went back to square one in the investigation into Priscila Belfort's disappearance. At the time, Vitor, Priscila's brother, stated that she was not addicted to drugs, and even if that were true, the family would be able to pay the supposed debt of $1,800. He also said that, although he considered Elaine's testimony contradictory, she may have told a half-truth, as no one would be crazy enough to commit a heinous crime like she did. After that, it is unknown whether the police continued investigating Elaine. All suspects were released, and, to this day, there is no explanation for why she made the complaint and admitted the crime, in addition to her mental problems. After all these years, without an answer to what happened to her daughter, Jovita understood that fighting for the missing was the best way to deal with the pain. She became an activist for the cause, worked in NGOs, and led campaigns. In 2019, she took over the coordination of prevention and combating the disappearance of people in Rio de Janeiro, and is now superintendent of missing persons and civil documentation. In March 2021, the so-called Pri Alert was regulated in Rio de Janeiro, which consists of a tool where the civil police sends SMS to people with photos and registration data of missing people at the time. The bulletin is registered of disappearance To this day, it is not known what actually happened to Priscila Belfort. We can say that this is one of the most famous cases of disappearances in Brazil, and I hope that sooner or later the police discover what happened. But what about you? What do you think could have happened to Priscila? Leave your opinion here in the comments. Well folks, that was it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Best wishes, and I'll see you in the next video.